Today I am going to talk about one of the essential media theories, which is called mediatization. In fact, as we know, there are many media theories, such as cultural theory, the reception theory, the agenda setting theory, the narrative theory, the visual theory, the reception theory, the perception theory also, and also we have the representation theory. So these theories constitute the strong theoretical and opinions, or let's say foundations, for exploring and understanding the field of media studies in an effective manner. In fact, these theories are of great help to you as university students to be aware of how viewers receive, perceive, use, and analyze media. So I'm going to talk about the theory of mediatization, which is of central importance for developing a complete understanding of the role of media in society, culture, and communication. In fact, this theory provides a framework for developing or nurturing a kind of understanding of how the media have become integrated in society and culture. So, what is mediatization? So, mediatization as a functional theory in the field of media studies does set forth that media structure, shape, and frame our knowledge and perception of the world. It is in fact a critical and fundamental concept that is used to typically characterize major changes, or we say vast transformations in human practices, actions, cultures, mores, traditions, and values in modern societies. This state of affairs reveals that media as a social entity aiming at enlightening people about local and global issues and matters have occupied an integral and constitutive part of a varied set of social and cultural institutions in culturally diverse societies. So according to the Swedish media researcher Kent Asp, the concept of mediatization was first used to refer to the media's impactful effect on political communication. Kent Asp stated that mediatization is understood, or let's say construed, as a process whereby a political system is influenced by and adjusted to the demands of the mass media in their coverage of political issues, or let's say politics. But later on, other media researchers tended to rethink or to refocus the mediatization theory on other aspects of media output and media use by investigating, or let's say by tackling, the intercorrelation, or let's say the interrelationship, or let's say the interplay among media, communication, culture, and society. As Friedrich Kreutz argues, another media researcher, so as Friedrich Kreutz argues, the term mediatization is implemented to highlight, or to underscore the essentiality of the role of the media in social change on a large scale. For Kreutz, mediatization is an ongoing meta-process by which the media alter or change human interaction, behavior, and activity in contemporary societies. Actually, the concept of mediatization not only uncovers the rapid or the increasing spread of technology, but it also underscores the process of structuring different social aspects of human beings' lives. This indicates that people's way of life and the world in which they live have become utterly mediatized at almost all levels. Obviously, given that the two terms, mediation and mediatization, are regularly used in media discourse, it is crucial to differentiate between them. So here I'm going to briefly explain the difference between mediation and mediatization. So whereas mediation can be conceived of as an act of communication that is conducted by means of a medium in a particular context, mediatization can be referred to as a process through which the social, cultural, and interactional practices are immensely and profoundly influenced by the social institution, which is the media. Indeed, mediatization as a transformational process is inextricably relatable to the modernization of society and culture. So within this frame, it is axiomatic that mediatization can be deemed as a component, or let's say as a constituent of modernization. So in this respect, we can say that technology, or let's say the advent of technology, did play a prominent and leading role in disseminating information, news, and events on a large scale. In other words, technology revolutionized the mass media and facilitated the interaction, or let's say the interactional process among society members. This was an authentic contributor to the development of modernization and the flow of mediated communication in today's modern, or let's say contemporary societies. Hence, the strong presence and the essential function of the media characterize modern society in all dimensions and construct the process via which individuals, institutions, and society members act and interact in many contexts and spheres. So, the concrete, or let's say the tangible advancements of the digital media was fertile ground, not only for mediatizing communication, ideologies, and viewpoints, but also for modernizing the traditional media used in communication. The theory of mediatization can be conceptualized at two basic levels, the quantitative level and the qualitative level. So at the quantitative level, mediatization refers to the extent, or let's say widespread, of media communication. This means that the media have infiltrated culture, communication, and society temporarily and spatially in all spheres of human beings' lives. People have become totally accustomed to the act, or let's say to the process of resorting to media for communication purposes. As to the qualitative level, mediatization can be regarded as the leading driving force that contributes to or effectuates interactional, social, and cultural change in various ways and to varying degrees. These two stated levels, the quantitative level and the qualitative level, do suggest that mediatization is not something abstract or intangible, but rather it is an ongoing, or let's say a continuous form of massive transformation in people's expectations, experiences, interests, and conceptions, which form, or let's say formulate, the core matrix of communities in the world. So clearly, while the quantitative features of mediatization are embodied in the swift proliferation of media in society, the qualitative characteristics can be reflected in the perceived influences exerted by the media on social, cultural, and interactional dimensions. As Boron affirms, there are three overarching perspectives that can be counted on or depended on for explicating the concept of mediatization. These mediatization-oriented perspectives are put forth as follows. We have the institutional perspective, the technological perspective, and the media as word perspective. In effect, the conceived centrality, or let's say the functionality of these stated three perspectives resides in the basic premise that they are intended to thoroughly theorize and critically account for the solid, or let's say the sturdy interrelatedness existing between media, culture, and society by providing plain, or let's say clear interpretations, explanations, and clarifications to the audience. So the first perspective, which is the institutional perspective. So this perspective places a sturdy emphasis on the overriding role of the media as a social and cultural institution in insightfully informing the public about current events, issues, and happenings. Under this account, the media are viewed as an independent institution that drastically impacts on people's social actions and reactions in particular, and on other social institutions in general. However, this does not preclude the possibility that the media remain an efficient means of conveying rich information, informing the public opinion, and strengthening the communication process among the citizens and other social, cultural, and political institutions. As to the second perspective, it is labeled the technological perspective. So it basically puts forward a line of thought, or let's say a line of reasoning that apparently underlines the effect exerted by technology on the social and cultural dimensions of human beings' lives. This perspective elucidates the premise that the media technologically structure and organize an effective exchange of information and an efficiency-bound engagement in the act of communication. Thus, viewed from this perspective, mediatization is fundamentally associated with the technological features, or let's say technological characteristics of the media. The third perspective related to mediatization is called media as word perspective. This put forth perspective does consider mediatization as a molding, or it's as a shaping force that shapes a wide series of the inner workings, the basic dimensions, and the active dynamics of society and culture. This media as a word perspective is an integrative framework that casts light on the solid linkage between media, culture, and society. So it places a strong stress on reception, production, sharing, and understanding of ideologies conceptualizations, interpretations, and world views. So the media can provide a platform for people to encounter the larger and diverse world. Now I'm going to highlight the link between mediatization and communication, since media forcefully impacts the act of communication in potentially different ways. In the context of communication, mediatization can be implemented to describe or to delineate the processes of communication by means of the print, electronic, and new age media. So as we know, the print media include magazines, newspapers, books, booklets, periodicals, and newsletters. And for the electronic media, they include television and radio. The new age media encompass mobile phones, computers, websites, and ebooks. So in Kratz's view, the media exist and have been developed since the beginning of human communication. In fact, for him, media are constructed by different forms of interaction and diverse ways of actions of the people by making use of technology for expressing, or let's say communicating, viewpoints, ideas, and perceptions. This shows, or let's say this features, that the process of communication has become increasingly networked and completely mediated. In this regard, 4 types of processes whereby the media impact and alter human communication are pinpointed by Winfried Schultz. First, the media extend human communication abilities in both time and space. Second, media substitute social activities that previously took place face-to-face. Third, media instigate an amalgamation of activities. This means that both face-to-face communication and mediated communication are combined. Lastly, actors in many different sectors are required to adapt their behavior to the media valuations and formats. So these are the major processes through which the media influence, shape, and direct human communication. In fact, it is widely reported by many academic media researchers that the process of communication is highly mediatized in many respects. In other terms, social life has transformed considerably by adopting the mediated character, or let's say the mediated property or the mediated characteristic in the act of communication. This shows that technology does support and does enable communication by converting it into a mediated form or version of interaction. As argued by Kratz, there are 3 different types of communication with regards to mediatization. The first type is communication with media. This refers to the process of conveying or communicating media content to a large, diverse audience. For instance, television, radio, print newspapers, and online newspapers provide more insightful and deeper coverage of current events, issues, and matters. The second type of communication is the one conducted by people via media, such as telephones, chats, emails, etc. So this type, or let's say this kind of communication, embodies the typical form of mediated interpersonal communication. The third and last type of communication is concerned with the interactive, or let's say interactional communication with robots or computer games. So it is a sort of communication conducted via human-made agents. Thus, it can be stated or declared that media do extend to boundaries, or let's say the limits of human communication at the level of space and time. Furthermore, within the framework of mediated communication, media serve as a powerful and effective substitute for social activities and social institutions. For example, we can say that the family gatherings are replaced by TV, and face-to-face conversation is replaced by, let's say, text messages. This is suggestive of the fact that within the confines of the theory of mediatization, media are conceived of as the key or decisive factor in altering or changing human communication and behavior in all aspects of life. Additionally, we can say that there exists a strong interrelationship between media, culture, and society. So, there is an interdependence between these entities, which are media, society, and culture. So here I'm going to explain the relationship that exists between these three entities: media, society, and culture. So as we know, the media occupy an eminent influential role in determining the course of shaping culture and society. Many forms of mass media, ranging from print media to audiovisual media, have permeated, or let's say infiltrated, people's cultural and social practices exponentially. For Stig Harvard, a media scholar, an intensified kind of mediatization of culture and society is experienced by people in their lives at varying levels. This indicates that the potential influence of the mass media on the wider culture and larger society is increasingly omnipresent and measurably pervasive. So, for the purpose of satisfying their needs and enriching their world knowledge, people would say readership and viewership invariably depend on and exceedingly resort to the institution of the media, which can no longer be regarded as a separate entity, but rather as part and parcel of human beings' lives. As stated by Livingstone, the dominant presence, or let's say the omnipresence of the media, has become a structural condition for social and cultural practices in every modern society in the world. This espouses the agreed upon perception that the media as a platform for exchanging a broad range of information and ideologies have become part and parcel of the overall fabric of society and culture. Indeed, media, as I said previously, shape social and cultural aspects of people. So, in an attempt to reveal the link between culture and mediatization, Andre Johnson, another leading media scholar, states that the mediatization of culture is the process that reinforces and expands the realm of media culture. This shows that the functional and outstanding position of the media in today's world has been established in molding or shaping social beliefs, ethics, traditions, cultural values, practices, conceptions, and perceptions. Therefore, it can be postulated that culture and society are interrelated with the mass media and their logics. So the theory of mediatization is used to characterize changes, social practices, cultures, and patterns of communication. So, to recapitulate, we can state that the prominent theory of mediatization provides an overall account of the transformative process whereby communication, culture, and society are shaped, structured, dominated, and directed by the social institution, which is the media. So, as I have already stated, there are three perspectives that are of great, or let's say of paramount importance for making sense of mediatization as a central, or let's say as a functional theory in the field of media studies. So these perspectives are the institutional perspective, the technological perspective, and the media as word perspective. A comprehensive understanding of these three stated perspectives is in fact a condition, we'll say a precondition, for perceiving the role of media and their wide-ranging effect or impact in today's media-saturated world. So now society, culture, and communication have become immensely mediatized in today's modern world. Thus, this outstanding theory, which is mediatization, is in fact worthy of critical exploration and consideration, since it exposes you, in fact, as university students, to rich insights into the fundamentals, basics, and prerequisites that govern media studies in the field of academia. And thank you so much for your attention.